about 13. She flew into somebody's window. And when she flew into that window, she hurt her wing. She hurt it so badly, she actually broke that part of her wing off. Now she's a bird, she's not a lizard. That's not going to grow back. So Kisra cannot fly, and she'll be staying with us. And there's a few things you can do to help keep birds from flying into your windows. Because a lot of songbirds do that too. They don't see glass like you and I. They don't know it's dangerous. So you can put decals on your window. The first decal here is a spider web. Who's ever walked into a spider web? Is it sticky and sort of nasty?
Yes.
Birds don't want to fly into that and get that sticky nastiness on their feathers either. So they see a spider web, they'll avoid it, or they'll try to. The next thing you can put up, if you don't want to see a spider web or something on your window, are these decals that Jeannie's holding up. You can see a blue one, and perhaps you can see the clear ones. Birds see ultraviolet light, so they see a bit differently. We wouldn't see anything in the window. What the bird would see is blue. And it helps to keep songbirds and birds like your raptors from flying into your window. A very good way, easy, cheap, effective way to keep birds from striking your windows. You can go to, there's all sorts of different websites out there. Type in window strikes, bird window strikes. You'll come up with half a dozen or more websites that sell these, and the Audubon sells them also. So a very good way to prevent window strikes. Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you, Isaiah. And as I said, Kisra is an older bird. She's going to be probably about 13 this year. She had her adult feathers. We're not exactly sure how old she is. When you bring a bird into captivity, sometimes you could double and triple their lifespan due to the fact they're fed every day. Their cages are set up with handicap ramps that lead up to their nest boxes. They're kept warm. She has a heat lamp in winter. They're fed. They're kept safe from predators. And they have excellent health benefits. So the reason why these birds will live longer. In Connecticut, they are on a threatened list. Not quite endangered, but threatened. Their numbers are really dwindling in the state due to large part loss of habitat. You guys know what habitat is? What's habitat? Where they live, right. Her habitat, bright open sunny fields like our farmlands, where the grasses are kept mowed so this bird can find its prey items. She eats a lot of bugs, crickets, grasshoppers, small mice, okay? And with those big open fields, that's where she hunts, that's where she lives. A lot of our farmlands are disappearing. They're turning into housing developments or shopping malls. So there are not as many places for this bird to live or to hunt. There are people who are building kestrel boxes. We have plans if anybody wants any. You can build these boxes, put them out in the correct habitat. There's a gentleman in Connecticut who has probably about 50 or so boxes out there. He had 20 young pledge out of his boxes last year. So it can be done to bring these birds back. Farmer's friend, they do eat a lot of crickets, a lot of grasshoppers. I sing that birds see ultravioletly. Different than us. That actually helps this bird hunt. She hunts small rodents. Mice, when they run, leave a trail of urine or pee. It fluoresces. This bird will follow that trail and track that rodent through the taller grass in order to catch it. So that also helps her to hunt. She hunts by hovering, or actually kiting, flying in the air, just in one spot, and then swooping down to pick up those small animals, the little rodents and mice and such. I was mentioning that this bird is a female. We know this because of her size and her color. Most of your raptors, the male and female, look just alike. The female being about a third larger than the male. This is because she does the majority of brooding and taking care of the young, and she needs to be bigger to protect the nest. But as a little unusual for raptors, the male is actually colored differently. This is Spirit. He is a male kestrel. You can see as they sit together that Kisra is about a third larger or so. She's about 120 grams, 122 grams, a quarter of a pound. He weighs 93 grams. So a big difference there. A big difference in their coloration. Sparrow is with us because he's also missing part of his wing for a different reason. He was found at Bradley Airport, big wide open fields. He flew into a hangar. A hangar is a garage for a plane. He was chasing a small rodent. And when it came time for him to fly out again, they were closing the doors and he got stuck in the door. And it actually took off part of his wing. And that's why Sparrow is with us. While they look pretty different, they've got a couple markings that are the same. If you look, they each have a cheek patch. All your falcons have that. Can anyone here in the audience, can you kids just think of somebody else who paints black on their cheeks? Why do they do it? A football player, why does he do that?
To block out the sun.
Right, that'll absorb the sunlight. These birds are diurnal, or daytime birds. They hunt in bright open sunny fields. And we think that's why falcons have those cheek patches. It's probably where the football players learned how to do that, from a falcon. These little birds also migrate. Does everybody know what migrate is?
I do.
What's migrating? They fly somewhere warm for the winter. And they don't do that just because it stinks for some people. They don't like it. It's cold up here. We don't like the snow. We don't like to drive in it. We don't like to shovel it. The birds don't fly south somewhere warm just because it's cold. They fly to follow their food source. She goes down to the Carolinas to find those little crickets and grasshoppers that she likes to eat. It'd be hard for her to find those up here in 6 inches or a foot of snow, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Does anybody have any questions?